Hello everyone, I'm Eszter Vajda. Thanks for joining us and welcome to Hometown Talents and Treasures. Our goal is to introduce you to citizens who in their own unique way contribute to the betterment of society. They could be part of a charitable or faith-based organization, spend a lifetime giving of themselves, or do small acts of kindness. Regardless, they are all hometown heroes. Our guest is Mike Strong. He's the director of two fundraising events benefiting brain tumor research and care at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Before we talk with Mike, I want to introduce you to an extraordinary family with an amazing story of survival and hope. They are the Theriault family from Peabody. I first spoke to the twins, Larry and Judith, about their decade-plus battle with brain tumor and what the work Mike is doing means to them. Then I spoke to their parents.
We first met Mike 13 years or more ago when we met him at the Pan Mass Challenge. And he was our pedal partner.
And then he started these fundraisers.
Right. He first started with the golf tournament, and at first, right away, Mike got right on work. He always works so hard on the golf tournaments and the golf balls. Whenever there's something needs to get done, he always is ready to get to work. He is truly an amazing person.
What does it feel like to have someone working so hard, having a group of people, and having these big events with hundreds of people taking part to raise money so you guys can get better?
It feels amazing. Just knowing that more and more people are coming to try to stop cancer permanently is the most amazing feeling in the world. And having Mike being in charge of all this just makes it all better.
It's wonderful, and because we've been going there for so long, since we were so little. My favorite part is when we go every year, there are people that said, "Oh, you guys look fabulous," because they've seen us growing up, and it just means so much that they're like a part of our family, that they keep coming back and they want to make sure that we're still doing okay and we're still healthy. And it's just unbelievable. And I believe it's all because of Mike, because of how much love he has for the cause, and he exudes that, and then everybody else, can't help but come back.
Larry, you've been diagnosed again. What is it like going back to Dana-Farber again?
It's really like just going to like a second home. I don't ever feel like it's a torture going to the Jimmy Fund, because to me it's a second home. Whenever you're at the Jimmy Fund, there are nurses and doctors that are like family to me. And knowing that the people are raising more money for more medicines and more cures gives me hope that someday I'll be going in there and they'll be saying that there is a medicine that can terminate what I'm undergoing. And the good news is right now that we just got a phone call today actually, letting us know that the treatment I'm on is officially working.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys have been battling this, since 2.5 and 3.5. You guys are 20 years old now. Long time, lots of people undergoing the same thing. What do you say to people who may be losing hope?
Don't ever lose hope. Never. That's the one thing you can never do. Lose hope. Because if you truly go with a positive attitude throughout this process, it's going to make the process a whole lot easier than just feeling upset all the time. If you go into this thinking that you're going to be okay, you will make it through, then it'll be a whole lot easier.
So, Mike Strong, what has he meant to you?
Mike has been more than just, an individual who takes the responsibility of raising money. Mike is a true inspiration. Mike has brought to our family continuous hope, not just for us, but for many families that are in this fight. Every time we go to the clinic, we face a news broadcast of what's going to happen next. It's been 18 years. It's been 4 times, and each time we go in, it's a continuous. But when we have someone that we know, someone who cares enough to go way beyond what any other individual would do. Because many people talk about it. There's not many people who actually put up and do it. And he's done it not just for us, but for so many others. That's the part of this that I don't think everyone really gets. There's no big vested interest in Mike here. His friend has already lost his battle. But he sees it everywhere. You know, you see it all the time with my son, my father, but a friend, and two, a family, and so many others that he's sort of brought into his fold. And you see it when you get there. Everyone is in this fight. And when we leave that place, we feel like there's someone behind us. And it's because of him.
He's become more than just someone who raises money for you guys.
He's I think the thing that we appreciate about Mike is that he never gives up. When things go wrong, he just works harder. And it's a full-time job for him. Besides earning a living, this is a full-time job. And he does it so that people won't have to suffer. And when you watch him and you see all the effort he puts into it, and he never, ever wants any accolades for himself. He never wants to be in the limelight. He never wants to be given, gratitude and all the things that people would give people that go above and beyond what the normal person would do. He wants to be in the background. He wants to quietly raise money for a cause that he has decided is his life's work, trying to make sure that no child or mother or father or friend goes through cancer. His goal is to wipe it out, and he's doing it one step at a time. He plugs away every day trying to find different ways to raise money so that people will not have to go through the tragedy of losing someone to cancer. And when he took in my two children, when he, quote, adopted them as his cause, he has never given up. He checks in with us all the time to see how they're doing, not just when the golf tournament's coming or when the golf ball is coming. He checks in with us all the time. And if we're not home, he leaves a voicemail. How you doing, Terrios? How you doing? It makes me feel that there is somebody there that is going to get this done for us. He does the hard part. He does all the legwork, he goes and tries to find sponsors and does all these types of things so that people won't have to experience the sadness of losing someone to cancer. And I've never met anybody like him.
What does it mean to have not just one, but two children battling this?
It was extremely difficult when Judith was diagnosed. It was hard enough when Larry was diagnosed. When Judith was diagnosed with the same type of tumor, I think we both were like, what did we do because the odds are just beyond. The one thing we've had throughout this is the Dana-Farber, and we've been blessed with the chances, the opportunities to have new treatments. Both treatments that the twins had were just starting when they started. They were just developed. Now Larry's been on 6 different trials for the tumor he has. There's no known cure for this tumor, and you just heard, we've got another chance. We had 2 years. Now we have another 6-month period in which it's not growing. But the one thing we've learned is today is the day. We live for today, and everything else doesn't mean anything because we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And in doing that, I think we are more as a unit. We spend a lot of time together, and sometimes we don't quite do all the things we're supposed to do because we're going to go have a good time. We're going to go have fun. We're going to make sure that we don't say 2 years, 3 years from now, we should have done this when we had the chance. because this is our chance. This is our moment right now. I think that's the one thing you change your life about when you start fighting this disease, is that, and what Larry said about keeping a positive attitude, if you let it, it can absorb your entire situation. But if you go and you live life like they do, they really do, it makes all the difference. It brings, you appreciate that you have all these moments. 18 years, and these 18 years have been full. They really have.
Mike, welcome.
Thank you.
I had an amazing experience meeting the Theriault family, and they were incredibly complimentary, as you just heard about your work. How did you get involved in doing this fundraising?
Well, in 1998, I lost a friend of mine to a brain tumor. He was a 42-year-old father of two, and so I left an impact on my life watching his struggle and his journey. So the following year, I rode the big Jimmy Fund bike ride, the big Jimmy Fund bike ride, the Pan Mass Challenge, in Lenny's memory. So the following year, as a way to sort of generate some additional revenue for that bike ride, my brother recommended you should start a golf tournament. So we started the golf tournament, and I hooked up with this team that first year, and just a group of people that I had met along the way, and so they brought me in as one of their team members. And the PMC has a pedal partner program, and they said, we're riding this year for these twins from Peabody, and they both have brain tumors. So it was a symbiotic relationship between what I was doing to try to raise money in Lenny's memory and these kids who were at the time 8 years old. And they're now 20, so we've been together for a long time, and I've watched them grow up, watched them go to school, get degrees.
You sort of adopted them.
Yeah, they're sort of our, they're sort of part of our Par for the Cure family. Yeah, and I feel like I'm part of theirs. I've really enjoyed being part of their lives and having them in mine.
You have the golf classic every year, and then there's the ball.
The golf ball, yep. Mm-hmm.
Talk about both of those events.
Well, we had started the golf tournament in 2000 in a very small golf course in Linfield, little 9-hole course. Again, just to try to generate some revenue. We had about 96 golfers, 9-hole course, and this year we just did our 13th annual tournament. We have it on 2 separate golf courses with a third venue where we have the clam bake where everybody meets in the middle for it. Had over 200 golfers, so that's how that's grown to. And about 7 years ago, it was actually on the Pan Mass Challenge, on the bike ride. I started thinking about, we're sort of reaching half a demographic. It's anybody's welcome to play, but it's probably a 90% male and 10% female demographic. So I thought, well, how can we bring everybody into our little organization? I thought, well, a black tie event where husbands could bring their wives, or wives could bring their husbands, and either way, the significant other says, "I'm going to golf a weekend in June, but I'll take you to this nice black tie gala."
And it's at the Harvard Club,
at the Harvard Club
the
in
venue
Boston. The venue is spectacular. Yeah, it's quite humbling to be in those halls. It's pretty neat. So I had no name for it. I had no idea what to call it. I just knew I wanted to do a golf-themed black tie event to tie into the golf tournament. And the hurricane that came after Hurricane Rita. It hit Hurricane Katrina, the one that went after that. It hit Houston. I was in my office, and someone said, "I wonder how the hurricane's going." And there was this, I bring up a web browser, and you can see the eye of the hurricane barreling down on Houston. I said, "Boy, that looks like a golf ball." And I thought, that's the name of the event, the golf ball. And the next day, it hit me. I had brought it to a woman I work with. It's in a creative environment. I said, "I got it, the golf ball." She said, "You can take a golf ball and put a little hat on it and a little bow tie." And I said, "We can have a T in the hand instead of a cane," and thus the logo came about. So it was pretty cool how it came about. And so we've just done our 7th annual golf ball. So between the 2 events, we generally donate to the Jimmy Fund in Lenny's name for brain tumor research, anywhere between $30,000 and $40,000 a year.
Wow, amazing. But you also have a full-time job. You're also training for the Pan Mass.
Challenge, yeah. It's raining today, so.
And
we're all
you have 2 huge fundraisers. What keeps you going?
Well, it seems like, well, part of it is the Terrio family, certainly. Larry is still undergoing treatment. Judith has been out of treatment, I would guess, for about 4 or 5 years now. She's been doing great. But we had funded the clinical trials for a drug called Avastin, which is a brain tumor drug that can break the blood-brain barrier. A lot of drugs can't. So the tumors just grow on their own, and this drug can. And so Larry was always in pediatric care, and now that he's old enough, he is actually undergoing, he has been undergoing an Avastin treatment. So knowing that the work that we've done has really kind of come full circle to help these kids who have been incredibly important to our work. And then along the way, every year we seem to meet people who are brain tumor survivors they have so much uncertainty. They walk in front of that doctor, and for the first time in their lives, they are told, you have a brain tumor, however, we think we can help. When Lenny was diagnosed, they said, we can kind of make you comfortable and we can do surgery, and there are some drugs that might do something, just a standard sort of carpet bomb chemotherapy. Now they have these targeted drugs like the Avastin that can go in and cut off the blood supply to the tumor in the brain, so they at least do have hope.
What was amazing to me, during the ball is listening to some of the patients, but also listening to the doctors and how committed they are at finding a cure, at helping some of these patients. What's your relationship like with Dana-Farber?
It's spectacular. It's spectacular. They're incredibly grateful for the work that we do. The money we give them, like you take the Avastin treatments, it's really seed money. They take our money, and years ago it was these mouse models where they would grow the tumors in these lab mice, and then cure them or not. And they find out something that works, and they can take that data to the NIH. So we might give them $40,000. They accumulate an awful lot of data, take that data to the National Institutes of Health or other larger grantors and get a $2 million grant based on a $40,000 donation from us that they can do whatever they want with. There's no restrictions. They can do whatever they want with our money. And so they're just unbelievable. They bring us up for tours. They'll bring me into their labs and show me the work that they're doing, and it's just unbelievable. I have no desire to be a brain surgeon. Nor,
you do enough. You
not
definitely
the skill
do
set
enough.
either. So it's quite humbling to be amongst them. So.
And Mike, I know one of the other things that you do is you're very involved with St. Basil's.
Correct.
And Curcio and out of Methuen, and you volunteer quite a bit there. How has faith, or what role does faith play in what you do?
It plays a lot. I mean, there is a famous scripture quote, whatsoever you do for the least of my brothers, you do it for me. And so here are these people who I have time. You wouldn't think I have time with all the litany of things you just listed, but I have time to put into these events for people who, again, they walk in full of fear and uncertainty and trepidation. So I have the time to do it. So I try to use that model where I'm just trying to give back something. I had a friend of mine that would always tell me, if you're doing service work, you're the hands and feet of God. So it plays a huge role in all the work that I do, and any volunteer work. Yeah.
Mike, thank you. Oh, and finally, people want information.
Oh yeah, you can always go to our website, www.par4cure.com. Go there anytime. You can send me an email, and we're glad to bring you on board.
Mike, thank you for all that you
do. Thank you, Esther.
Thank you so much, Mike, for everything you do. You mean the world to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. You are amazing, and we're so lucky to have you in our lives, and you are one of my heroes. Thank you.
That's our show for tonight. Thank you to all the heroes out there for all that you do. If you want to see other episodes, go to my YouTube channel, the Eszter Vajda channel. And if there's someone or an organization you would like to nominate to be featured on Hometown Talents and Treasures, email me at esternvajda@gmail.com. You can see it on your screen. Remember, it can be anyone. The important thing is that they selflessly donate their talent and time to help others. See you next time.